Good morning, Brownsville. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you are watching this feed. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Frankie Olivo. Our program focuses on the very important issues that are affecting our local community. We have shed light on injustices, and we have allowed for our platform to be that of the voice of the people. Now, if this is something that you can see yourself supporting, we ask that you like, comment, and share this live feed. Now, we've been talking about as of late that our Facebook page is at risk of being taken down. The powers that be do not want you to know the truth. But remember, fam, we will not be silenced. Now, if you're really about the cause and you really want to stand up to corruption and you want to hold our leaders accountable, well, make sure that you follow our social media platforms. In case you can no longer find us, we will always be streaming on one of these social media apps. We could be found on Twitter, now X, under Frankie Olivo. Make sure you follow our personal page on Facebook, Olivo Frankie. And also, we can be found on YouTube under Frankie Olivo TV. Make sure you subscribe, fam. Currently, we're at 595 subscribers. Our goal is to get to 1,000 by the end of this year. Remember, even if we go dark on Facebook, you can't find us. Good Morning Brownsville will come on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. religiously, rain or shine. So make sure you subscribe to all of our social media accounts. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I may be transitioning just to YouTube. Facebook is kind of iffy as of late. And YouTube, for you, the viewer, gives you anonymity. No one will know when you're watching. Nobody will know when you're on. When you're watching on Facebook, the world knows, I know who's watching and at what time. So, again, we will transition slowly into just strictly YouTube. So make sure, it's important, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Once again, Brownsville, I will never ask you for money. I will never, ever ask you for food. Well, depends what you make. But the little that I ask of you, you want me to risk my life? You want me to stick my neck out for you? You want my family to be scared for me? I live for this stuff. I love it. All I ask of you, my community, is to show support and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is all. And once again, thank you so much, Brownsville, for tuning in. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. How we doing, chat? How we doing? How we doing? Happy Tuesday. Man, I woke up today thinking it was Friday. I was like, I fregué. Woo! No, man. I've been tired as of late. I'm busy. I'm constantly working. I'm constantly doing something. I think I have ADHD or something. I'm always like, that's crazy because I don't even like heavy metal. I jam out to it. I jam out to it, but it's not like my personal thing. But anyways, happy Tuesday, fam. How's everybody doing? Summer is here. Make sure you take your kids out. It's expensive to travel, ladies and gentlemen. It's expensive to travel. Gas is going down as of late, but the best thing you could do is go take them out to a park. Go take them out to the beach. Well, not Boca Chica Beach. You could thank Daddy Elon for that. But take them out. It's good to be out. Nowadays with all the technology, the kids don't want to go out. They don't know what it's like to chase moscas around. What's that joke? Oh, you're bored. Oh, ponte a limpiar, ponte a hacer algo. Back in the day, man, we would ride bikes, get in the mud, break an arm. The good old days. Make sure you get some sun rays. Make sure your family gets some rays. It's good for the soul. Good for the soul. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we find ourselves in the day that we've all been waiting for. This is the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen, for us nerds, for us that follow campaigns, that have been a part of campaigns, heck, that have even ran a campaign. Today is election day. Today is very important because today, ladies and gentlemen, will determine how the landscape, the dynamics of our city commission will be for the next 4 years. We have prided ourselves in presenting you the good, the bad, and the ugly. That is something that I will continue to do. People will criticize me. People will try to discredit me. But one thing that I want to make clear is we have made serious allegations and been pointing fingers and calling people out to their names. Have you heard a denial from them, ladies and gentlemen? Have you seen a post on social media that says whatever Frankie is saying is lying? No. Why is that? Because they're caught with their tail between their legs. They know that I know. And they think that this is going to go away. It's not going to go away. Let's say these people are triumphant, and they do. They're victorious today. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to get called in, and they're eventually going to get arrested. That's the reality that we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen, here in the city of Brownsville. So again, today is going to be a very, very important day, ladies and gentlemen. How will the majority minority look for the city of Brownsville? Will we have individuals that will be working for you and your children and your family? Whenever these politicians say that they want to provide a better life for you, they want to give you a better quality of life, do you believe them? It's scary. It's scary for me, ladies and gentlemen, to be coming before you and talking about how certain characters have violated your trust. We talked about a federal agent that we thought was going to be a knight in shining armor. What do we find? 2 weeks after being sworn in, he's already committing nepotism, which is a crime in the state of Texas. That they strong-armed people to get their people a job. It's important for us to vet these candidates, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because ultimately, they will have access to thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. And look, what I'm all about is give it to the people. Make sure the people are the first ones in line to get the grants. But what do we see? It's not so. It's not so. That is what bothers me, because we entrusted that person with our vote to say, here's my vote, go make us proud. When in reality, they're just part of that compadre system, that quid pro quo. They are not transparent. They have backroom deals, all at the cost of you and your family. It's nothing personal for me, ladies and gentlemen, but we vet the candidates. We vet the incumbents based on their merits. And it's funny because Pedrito Cardenas has given us a lot of material to cover. This is going to be our 7th day talking about him. And in the previous 6 days that we've talked about him, it's been something different. There's a lot of question marks, a lot of red flags in regards to the candidacy that is Pedrito Cardenas in his quest to have 4 more years for District 4. What has he done? The only thing that we can remember from the State of the City address was Highway 77. But Highway 77 was a job that John Villarreal, Judge Bernice, rest his soul, worked on. Their hard work is finally coming to fruition. And the one reaping the benefit is Mr. Pedrito Cardenas. He hasn't done much, ladies and gentlemen. All he has done is thought about himself and his friends. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is the last day where you can make your voice be heard. Many people think, oh, my vote doesn't count. No, especially in these type of elections, in the runoff elections, in June, late May, early June, your vote counts. Your vote is very important. We talk about how there are over 200 residents in the city of Brownsville on paper. That's probably closer to 250, 300 maybe. Voter apathy is real. We get less than 8% of the constituents out to the ballot box. If you haven't already, please make sure to make plans to attend, ladies and gentlemen. This is important. The race that we've been covering for District 4 is going to be a tight one. It's going to be a nail biter. Heck, I've even asked my team, hey, should we focus on the at-large race? Or like, no, that one's already done. We need your attention on District 4. It's going to be it's going to be super close. Every vote counts. Today is election day, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a day in which we will be able to see who will be representing the city of Brownsville 4 more years. On the most important day of the city of Brownsville, moving forward, we titled our program today, Does Pedrito Cardenas deserve your vote? Does he deserve 4 more years? Has he done an amazing job, ladies and gentlemen? Has he? We talked about yesterday's show how he talked about safety. Well, crime has gone up during his tenure from 2021 up until now. Murder rate, aggravated assaults, theft of motor vehicles is skyrocketing. But yet he got the endorsement of the Brownsville Police Department. We also talked about that famous night in which he was in downtown Brownsville acting a fool, acting belligerent because he was drunk out of his mind. He can't control his alcohol. He was aggressive towards police officers. He was threatening them. He was intimidating. But yet this same organization gave him their support for 4 more years. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. And on that night, ladies and gentlemen, in which police were called to a downtown bar in which your candidate for District 4, Pedrito Cardenas, was belligerently drunk, he climbed over the bar. He was making himself drinks. He was being obnoxious, ladies and gentlemen, to a point to where the bar owner and the bar owners downtown know exactly who he is. And these people still called the cops. That's how bad it was. Now, Pedrito Cardenas, on his forum with El Muerto de Hambre, Trey Mendez, spoke about how he's all about safety in downtown and he wants to be inclusive, not just for the LGBTQ community, but for everybody as a whole, not just one community. Everybody should be safe. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This man was spilling hate from his mouth towards the LGBTQ community. He was being necio. He was causing people to feel uneasy, to feel unsafe. And this is a commissioner acting that way. How do you feel of his stance on the LGBTQ community? Shouldn't you be outraged? All you pro-law enforcement, how do you feel of a commissioner threatening police officers? Acting all big. Hey, yo mando aquí. I'm a commissioner. Soy Pedrito Cardenas. I run things in Moros. ¿Qué pedo? I'm going to get you fired. All y'all pro-law enforcement, how do you feel? And what, you think I'm lying? There's a body cam. Why do you think I have this picture up here? There's a body cam. And again, this individual wasn't arrested. Why? Because he's a commissioner. But if it was you or I, ladies and gentlemen, we would have been arrested. No, election day is not Saturday. Election day is today. The last day to vote is today, Tuesday. Today, Tuesday at 7 p.m. This is the last day to vote. Today's the day. If you haven't already, make plans. And again, he was spilling hate from his mouth. And again, you don't believe me that there's a video cam footage based on that incident? Roy de los Santos confirmed that there is, in fact, a video. That the commission with the attorneys in executive session viewed that video. So it did happen. The council, the city council, they're not allowed to speak on it. But guess who saw the video? It's damning, ladies and gentlemen. The video is so bad that Pedrito Cardenas had to get a court order from a judge to block the release from it, because there's been two people that have tried to request that video. And we won't have access to it, possibly until after the election, if that. But why would a man want to hide something? Shouldn't he be all about the truth? El que nada debe, nada teme, right? If you say that you're this great person, that you've done great things for the citizens of Brownsville, why are you hiding a body cam video of a night in question in which you were downtown? Because it's bad. Pedrito Cardenas' political career, it's over. He knows it. He's blocked me on Facebook. He's tired of me just drilling him. But is it my fault? Or is it his fault? El bueno sabe hacer sus jales a la sorda. Pedrito le dice a todo mundo, esta información no es nada nuevo. The one that's good knows how to do his things, his movidas. Shh. Pedrito doesn't know how to make movidas. He just craps everywhere. When the time's right, Brownsville Times. And I like seeing you back on, Brownsville Times. It's been a while. Hopefully we'll get the gang together. Nice to see you. Ask him if you don't believe me. Why is this Frankie Olivo on Good Morning Brownsville talking about a dash cam of an incident that happened downtown Brownsville? People that frequent downtown Brownsville, they know exactly what I'm talking about. They know about it. Commissioner de los Santos knows about it. The thing that bothers me is that Roy de los Santos knows about what he said towards the LGBTQ community, knows how he feels about the LGBTQ community, and Roy's still his running mate? Roy's trying to grab onto Pedrito and his votes? Really? That's, to me, is very sad. Also, we've been focusing on how Pedrito Cardenas, Gustavo de Leon, Roy de los Santos have conspired to backroom deals, quid pro quo. They are part of a compadre system. They have not been transparent. We're making serious allegations that Pedrito Cardenas and Roy de los Santos promised El Muerto de Hambre, Trey Mendez, who has applied multiple times to different government entities for the city attorney position, to no avail. He knows that I know. What did he do? He started deleting comments. Why would Trey Mendez delete comments? Because he's spooked. That's why. It's like when you see a ghost, you say, a la madre. ¿Por qué sabe este vato? ¿Por qué nos está diciendo esto? That is why he's spooked, ladies and gentlemen, because he knows that we know. They might want to deny it, but deep down inside, they know. Esteban Horta. Let me see, my man. Let me hook you up. Esteban is asking me, where can we see it, Frankie? Where can we go? Ahí te voy. Give me 1 second, Horta. Today is the last day you can vote, Horta. Today Tuesday, June the 3rd. You have until 9 a.m. The polls close at 7 p.m. The different locations in which you can vote, community of Brownsville, is a Cameron County Courthouse, downtown Brownsville, at 954 East Harrison Street. You can also go to the Brownsville Public Library on Central Boulevard. You can go to the Southmost Public Library, 4320 Southmost Road, La Famosa. You can also go to the New Horizon Medical Clinic on 191 East Price Road. And also, you could go to the Good Shepherd Community Church on 300 West Morrison Street. Today is the last day, ladies and gentlemen, in which you can go and vote. But again, we're targeting Pedrito Cardenas because he is in a runoff. And what did we see based on this diagram? Well, we are alleging, and again, if you don't believe me, call them and ask them. Call them and ask them. Pedrito de Leon, Gustavo de Leon, and Pedrito Cardenas. They strong arm who? The city manager's office. Can you see that? They strong arm their city manager's office to get who a job? Carlos Elizondo. Now, these individuals on the screen, they campaigned hard together. And what have we seen from the likes of Jazz Marie Reyes, a.k.a. Carlos Elizondo's fake Facebook page? And if you go to Carlos Elizondo's real page, well, they're both fake because he's a coward. But if you go to both of those pages, Jazz Marie Reyes is no longer with us. Oh, sad. Who do they endorse? Pedrito Cardenas, Gustavo de Leon. Why? Because Carlos is a great human being? No. Because Carlos wants to get a job with the city. Because Carlos lost his retirement. He lost everything. Imagine thousands of dollars down the drain when he was fired as a fire chief. I believe he has a few months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, let's say, that he needs in order for him to retire, to be able to get his compensation retirement package, so to speak. But people at City Hall, they don't want Carlos back. They know the type of person he is. He's a coward. He's a thief. He's a horrible human being. Human being on Alton Glore. Make sure you stop by with our friends for any coffee or tea refreshments. Somewhere around the corner. Make sure you try out their great variety. And let them know that Frankie Oliva on Good Morning Brownsville sent you. The human being. Carlos Elizondo is a horrible human being, ladies and gentlemen. People at City Hall do not want Carlos back. So again, what have we been seeing from Pedrito Cardenas? That he's using his position to influence, to intimidate, not just police officers on that night in question of the body cam, but also he's intimidating the city manager's office. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the commissioners, they have a vote. They can hire or fire people like that if they have their numbers. So imagine the city manager's office, the pressure that they must feel. Here we have two city commissioners, one that's running for in a runoff. They're strong-arming me, forcing me, telling me that I should consider, you should give this person a job. Who? Carlos Elizondo. That's called nepotism, ladies and gentlemen. That is against the law. We saw how Minerva Peña got charged with nepotism. She was charged. She was arrested for it. Pedrito Cardenas is a homophobic. He hates the LGBTQ community. He threatened law enforcement. He is practicing nepotism, so to speak. Now, what else did he do? What movida does he have? Well, he appointed Alejandro Nájera, who owns Monarca Baja Kitchen in downtown Brownsville, to the PUB board. And I beg you the question, imagine how much money Alejandro Nájera has gotten from the city of Brownsville through grants, through his restaurant. We're going to look into that. The number's going to scare you. And who appointed him? Pedrito Cardenas. We're going to talk later why he did it. Because Alejandro Nájera gave Pedrito Cardenas a loan of thousands of dollars, possibly close to the six figures. We know the exact amount, but we'll refrain from mentioning that right now. Also, Gustavo de Leon appointed who? Martin Sarkis to the PUB board, an individual that cannot speak English. My people are even calling him Inglés sin barrera. Che raza. You're hilarious. But why? Why would Pedrito Cardenas appoint Alejandro Nájera? Because he owes him thousands of dollars. Why would Gustavo de Leon make a motion to appoint Martin Sarkis to the PUB board? It's designed in a way, and Gustavo de Leon made a motion, and guess who seconded it? Pedrito, of course. We showed you the video. We'll post it again. Why? Why were these men appointed? Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about contracts. It's all about the feria. These people put people throughout different entities in the city. Why? Because they want to skimp here, skimp there, a little bit here, a little bit there. You think I'm lying, ladies and gentlemen? Ask them. Ask them everything that I'm going to talk about today. They may deny it to your face, but ask them to make a statement on Facebook. Post it for the world to see. Guess what? They're not going to do it. Now, why were these men appointed to PUB? For contracts. To get money. Large sums of money from contractors, developers, engineers. If this isn't a RICO case, I don't know what is. If this isn't a syndicate, I don't know what is. And look, again, Alejandro Nájera doesn't have a college degree. It doesn't say anything anywhere. He just specializes in energy procurement. It's kind of weird. And again, people have said, oh, well, don't be so hard on people that don't have a degree. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing against, I know, bring me up. I know successful entrepreneurs, business owners that don't have a degree, and they're hustlers, and they've done very well for themselves. And I salute people like that. I love to see stories like that. But this individual is very questionable, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very questionable. And we're dealing with PUB, with an entity that has many question marks in regards to Tenasca, in regards to a lot of things. And here we're appointing. And again, who sits on the commission? People with doctorates of civil engineer and researchers and stuff like that. And then we have here estos dos, Dumb and Dumber, uno without a degree but specializing in procurement, y el otro vato con un título de la Institución Tecnológico de Matamoros. Really, ladies and gentlemen, this is the best we have. Really, in all of Brownsville, tenemos a estos dos títeres. Really, ladies and gentlemen. And not just that, but this man, Martin Sarkis, owes a family member $75,000 to the point to where that person was frustrated, upset when he asked him for his money and said, hey, pay me back. Martin says, I'm not going to pay you back. And inside the hospital room, ladies and gentlemen, the family member just let Martin have it. Mocos. Now, we have a questionable character in Mr. Martin Sarkis, who is making there's allegations where that he stole from a family member in the tune of $65,000 to $75,000. That number is debatable, but it's in that range. And he sits on the PUB board. That's the best we have, Brownsville. Because who appointed them? Pedrito appointed Nájera, and Gustavo appointed Martín Sarkis. Ay, qué chulos, qué chulos. Again, we also talked about how Pedrito Cardenas has a deal with Susan for the Corrupt and Deborah Jobless Bell, that they will endorse Pedrito. They will spend hundreds of dollars on him, even though he's a Democrat. How does the Republican Party, and it's either gonna be Thursday. I'm gonna do a part 2 on addressing myself to the Republican Party. I have so much material and so many phone calls of people saying it's not a good look. It's not a good look. And the crazy thing for me, ladies and gentlemen, is that Pedrito Cardenas is conspiring, doing backroom deals. Susan for the Corrupt has an agenda to have Pedrito elected. Why? Because he will support the congressional candidate for the Republican Party against Vicente Gonzalez. Can you imagine that? Vicente Gonzalez has $7 million in campaign funds in the coffers. Ni le van a hacer cosquillas al guy. With all due respect, Congressman Gonzalez, they're not going to touch him. He's going to laugh. He's bringing $30 million to BISD. $30 million to BISD if it goes through. If you don't believe me, look at my page. We just posted it earlier today. And Pedrito's going to go up against him. Going to challenge him. Really? If you don't know, Pedrito Cardenas, the same people that are helping Pedrito Cardenas are the same people supporting Congressman Vicente Gonzalez. So just imagine, somebody's lying. Somebody's not being truthful. Who is it? Is it Pedrito that he's lying to the Republican Party and he's willing to lie and get elected at any cost because every vote matters? Or is he lying to his people? Because again, I've openly stated, we all know the relationship that Port Director Guerra has with the Congressman Gonzalez. We all know that. Does he know about this? Is he aware of Pedrito's plan of betrayal where Congressman Gonzalez gave him a donation of $1,000 and now we posted how he's taking pictures with the congressional candidate? For the time being, we anticipate others because Bam isn't a great candidate. And the Republican Party knows that. There's going to be others. But it just so happens that Bam is Mayra Flores' candidate. We'll be talking about Mayra Flores in the very near future as well. Backroom deals, ladies and gentlemen. He's not being transparent. Y'all don't believe me? Ask him. So again, what do we talk about? Pedrito Cardenas, he hates the LGBTQ community. He was threatening us, being belligerent, harassing police officers. Him and Gustavo de Leon, nepotism. They tried to get Carlos a job through the city manager's office. City manager was like, whoa. This is not a good look. He appointed Nájera. Gustavo de Leon appointed Sarkis. Why? For contracts. He's making a backroom deal with the Republican Party. Does Steve Guerra know about this? That he's going to support the Republican Party? Go up against Vicente Gonzalez? Really? What else? He's got so much cola. Tiene mucha cola. What else? He was running the family business, and they had to take him out. They had to replace him with the sister because he wasn't paying taxes. Ladies and gentlemen, if he could not operate a restaurant, what makes us think he could manage the city of Brownsville's annual budget of 130, 132, let's say 130. You think he could do that? Also, he asked for $20,000 from Gustavo de Leon. Why? I don't know, to pay payroll, but he doesn't even work at Pedrito no more. So that was the excuse that he gave. And Gustavo de Leon is desperate to get elected. He's following Pedrito's orders, but he doesn't know that the feds are these people aren't so bright. They can't read the room. That Gustavo de Leon borrowed, lend Pedrito Cardenas $20,000. And then he was asking for it back, and Pedrito pues decía I don't know. Gustavo de Leon got so desperate that he said, hey, man, my wife found out. My family found out. And that money's hers. I need it back because it's family. Y de volada. He gave it back. Why are we saying this? Because we're going to his character, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't manage money well. Also, he stole employees' tips. And you know those people, they're undocumented. They live off of tips. That's how they make their money. And here we have this man who can't pay taxes. He can't pay the liquor license, stealing their tips. Really? What bothers me about Susan the Corrupt is she never mentions this. Shouldn't the Republican Party know the good, the bad, and the ugly of their candidate? Who vets them? Or was it just, well, he asked for help, so let's give him help. We're going to talk about that in detail. I'm thinking Thursday or Friday. Not a good look. Not a good look. Also, what have we seen from him? Well, we see how his wife is always the first in line as of March 7th, 2025. Sweden company that is owned by a Lourdes Volado received $1,205 for what? For rent subsidy. And guess who owns the building? You guessed it, El Muerto de Hambre, Trey. So these individuals are giving themselves money. Also, I forgot to bring it on the, let me bring it up. Also, they're using city money to pay for Pedrito's campaign. Why do we keep electing individuals that have sketchy backgrounds? Why? I don't understand, ladies and gentlemen. Shouldn't we be at a point to where we do not want this? We want people to work for us and not for themselves. So again, here you have Sweden company, and I'm going to bring it down because I'm going to show you another picture. Thank you, team, for bringing it up. Bring me down real quick, and I will be back up. Okay, so again, Pedrito can't manage a restaurant. He gets replaced by his sister, which I heard she's running a tight ship now. Where are you? There we go. Got it. Okay. Give me 5 seconds. I'm good. Bring me up. Okay. Can't keep up with the taxes. Sweden company in March. Sweden company in March gets $1,200. March 25th, March 7th, 2025. Sweden company, $1,205 for what? For rent. For who? El Muerto de Hambre. Next one. Who do we find? Sweden company again. How much do they get? $15,000. The very bottom. You watching me? You follow me? Sweden company at the bottom right here. Boom. Let's go across, fam. How much have they gotten? $15,000. Let's round it off. $15,000. And guess what? Guess what else they're doing? Look at this. This is the most damning thing, ladies and gentlemen. This should be a slap in the face to you, the taxpayer. Why? Because Sweden company is owned by who? Well, let's find out. Sweden company is owned by who, fam? Sweden company 1018 is owned by / Lourdes Volado. And what do we see Ms. Lourdes Bolado doing? Well, she's giving a campaign contribution of $1,000 back to her husband. So essentially, you, the taxpayer, are funding Pedrito Cardenas' campaign. Why? Because this woman received money from BCIC, which is taxpayer money that is collected. Hot sales tax, whatever you want to call it. They're making a mockery out of you, ladies and gentlemen. They're laughing at your face all the way to the bank. Oh, but yet I'm the crazy one, according to Susan for the Corrupt and Deborah Jobless Bell. I'm the bad one. I don't have receipts. I don't have receipts how they're saying, look at the damn programs that we've been showing. Nothing but facts, baby girls. Nothing but facts. Are you okay with this? And now let's look at what Susan for the Corrupt has to say. She's questioning Pedrito Cardenas' connection to an individual that received $7,000 for videography. $7,000. I can do that for a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper and some Funyuns. Why isn't Susan for the Corrupt talking about this now? Why was it bad back then, but now it's not bad now when her and her party are endorsing this candidate? You think I'm lying, right? You think that I have nothing else to do and I'm like, este vato nomás tira mierda, nomás para tirar. No, ladies and gentlemen. This man has so much baggage, so many red flags. And the Republican Party, what? What red flags? Yo no miro nada. Red flags. ¿Qué es eso? I asked someone, and I know you're watching. I asked someone, hey, am I crazy? Do I need to take a step back? Am I reading this wrong? This guy has so many question marks. And the people are calling me crazy. And they're like, no, hombre. You're spot on, vato. You're spot on. Tú dale gas. Okay. Let's keep on going. Also, there's questions into the residency of Pedrito Cardenas. The voters should be aware that he does not live in District 4. He has failed to offer a residential address within the district. We focused a whole episode, a whole program on ¿Dónde vive Pedrito? Because based on paper, he still lives in District 2, the Palo Alto area. So, again, we base ourselves on facts. Republican Party, Susan for the Corrupt, Deborah Jobless Bell. But guess what? Somebody said, hey, Frankie, you should really look into somewhere else. Yes, Frankie, you want to focus on what's on paper, and that's good because you showed that he lives in District 2 because he applied to change his residence the last day, and that takes 30 days. So his candidacy should be annulled, should be voided by the city secretary's office. But why didn't they? Because he's a commissioner. And the city secretary doesn't have a backbone to do his job, whoever it is. They get paid $90,000, $100,000, but when push comes to shove, they cave. They don't do their job. So where does Pedrito live? He lives in Rancho Viejo. He lives in Rancho Viejo at 4500 Carmen Avenue, which is an apartment, studio, condo, loft, mini house that is owned by who, ladies and gentlemen? That famous name again. Alejandro Nájera. The mailman reached out to Good Morning Brownsville, and he said that the last time Pedrito was seen there was in October. They said, I haven't seen him, señor Olivo. No le he visto al señor. Creo que está con su esposa, está tratando de arreglar su matrimonio. Y no lo hemos visto. Y también está corriendo para la ciudad, ¿verdad, señor Olivo? Pues quizás por la campaña es la razón por la cual no lo hemos visto en Rancho Viejo. You don't believe me, huh? You think everything I'm making up is true? Why do you think Pedrito's been very quiet? Why do you think he didn't deny my allegations? If it was me, ladies and gentlemen, who said, "Oh, Frankie doesn't live there. Frankie doesn't live at his address," be like, I've been voting there for the past 10 years. You want to come? Come. Has Pedrito denied any of my allegations? Has Gustavo de León? Gustavo ahorita anda bien. Yep. Why? It's an honest question. Why? Because they know what they did, and they know that we know, and all eyeballs and the spotlight is on them, and they're a deer in headlights. How does he know this crap? Pedrito Cardenas does not live in Brownsville, ladies and gentlemen. He lives in Rancho Viejo, 45 Carmen Avenue. That is owned by a who? You may ask. Is owned by a Alejandro Nájera. By who? Who is 4500 Carmen Avenue owned by? According to the Cameron Appraisal District website, that is public access. Anybody has an opportunity to search this. If you don't believe me, do your homework. And ladies and gentlemen, don't believe anything I say. Bring me up. Don't believe anything I say. Do your homework. Our grandpa's a preacher. He said, hey, you best bring your Bible and you best do your homework. Yes, take notes, but everything I say, make sure you confirm it. Same thing with me. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to give you the black and the white, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You better do your homework. Don't take whatever I say as being truthful. Ask them about everything that we've talked about. And guess what? We're spot on, doggy dog. Why? Porque ahorita irán calladitos. Todo paniqueado. Why? Because they know that we know. Why is Pedrito Cardenas staying at a property that is owned by a PUB board member named Alejandro Nájera that he himself, that Pedrito himself appointed? Why? Because Pedrito is in debt to that man, Alejandro Nájera, in the sum of thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Here you have people like Susan for the Corrupt and Deborah Jobless Bell saying, oh, well, Daisy, she received $1,000 from the mayor. But this guy's washing $100,000. This guy owes a PUB board member thousands, possibly close to six figures. And why did he appoint him? So he can make his money there. Control the contracts. Know what's coming, what's going. Oh, Brownsville. What a tangled web we weave. And ladies and gentlemen, if you think this is the end of this, this is just the beginning. My team, they did like a taste test, like a driver's test, and said, look, kid, this is what you need to know. Paint the picture for your community. And if you come through, we'll give you more. We'll feed you, kid. No pressure. And guess who came through? Mira. And after this, we're going to go board by board by board at the county, at the college, at the city, at the port. When I told you I'm going to be busy for the summer, we're going to be busy, ladies and gentlemen. Good Morning Bronzo was going to give you nothing but bangers. Es una pinche novela, la raza. Es una novela. And I want you to come back because everything that we do is based on merit and is based with facts, with receipts. So, what now? What now? Today is election day, ladies and gentlemen, the last day in which you can cast your vote. Every vote counts. This race for District 4, it's a nail biter. It's a toss-up. Nobody really knows. Pedrito's camp is tripping out. Tripping out. They're looking at themselves. Who's the mole? Every vote counts, ladies and gentlemen. It's important for us to exercise our right to vote. Men and women die to give us that luxury, that freedom to express ourselves. You may think that your vote is insignificant. Oh, no. Your vote is very powerful. Your vote is very, very important, especially in this runoff, especially a time where people don't come out to vote. I've done my job, Bronzeville. My family is asking me to tone it down. They know the type of people that I'm calling out, and they don't play nice. My family knows the commitment that I've made. They know I want to go out. I want immortality. You may laugh. That's what I want. Forget waist deep. I'm in over my head in this. There's no going back. You better appreciate me, Brownsville, because I'm fighting corruption. I'm giving my face. I'm throwing the rock and I'm saying, I threw it. Y'all talk a big game about, oh, corruption, oh, this, oh, that. Y la mera hora. I'm not referring to everybody. I'm talking to those people that choose to be for the corrupt who, oh, I want to be in the pedo. Oh, yes, I want to do this. But when it comes down to it, yeah, let me be that person. Get behind me. I'll take it for you. I'll be the shield. I'll be in the front lines. I don't ask much for my community. I really don't. But if you want to fight corruption, you want to hold our elected leaders accountable, subscribe to our pages. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for food. Well, the very little that I ask of you, Bronzo, is follow my pages, subscribe on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm going to continue to do this with or without you to my community. But there's strength in numbers. La unión hace la fuerza, raza. I'm not asking for y'all to be out in the front lines. No. Hide behind me. Yo estoy gordo. I got a big back. Hide behind me. I'll take it. I'll throw the rock. It's not easy, ladies and gentlemen. People think doing what we do is easy. It's very difficult. Very difficult. But I love it. I live for this stuff. I love pressure. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've done my job. I have told you how Pedrito Cardenas hates the LGBTQ community, has harassed, he's harassed police officers, how him, along with Gustavo de Leon, they strong-armed the city manager's office to get Carlos Elizondo a job, putting the city manager's office in freaking out because, whoa, are we going to get fired if we don't do what he says? How he appointed Alejandro Nájera to the PUB board. Gustavo de Leon appointed Martin Sarkis on the PUB board. Why would they appoint these people without a degree? Nothing against people without degrees. We understand. But Martin Sarkis doesn't even speak English. He's got a high school diploma out of Matamoros, which is, an admirable thing, I guess. Why? Because of contracts, to get money. Martin Sarkis owes a family member 75 grand. Questionable characters. Very questionable characters. We settle for crumbs, as a wise man used to say. This is not the best we can do, Brownsville. We are settling for the bottom of the barrel. Also, a backroom deal. Pedrito Cardenas, with the support of the Republican Party, who is a Democrat. The Republicans are spending money on a Democrat. Go figure. They couldn't have a Republican run. No, they're going to throw money at a Democrat. In exchange for what? For Susan, for the corrupt's agenda. For Pedrito to support the congressional candidate against Vicente Gonzalez. Out of all people, they think that he's going to go up against his own kind. Crazy. Pedrito Cardenas he can't manage money. He owed Gustavo de Leon 20 grand, and Gustavo started freaking out. Oh crap, hey, bro, my wife, bro, my wife knows. Hey, defende de la familia. Give it back. He can't pay his bills. He can't pay the TABC. And you think he's going to manage the city of Brownsville with a budget of $132 million? His wife has been receiving thousands of dollars, $16,000, $15,000. And what does she do? She gives him a campaign donation of $1,000. So essentially, the city of Brownsville is funding Pedrito Cardenas' campaign. Are you serious, fam? This is crazy, man. But yet again, what do I know, right? Again, we have Susan for the corrupt. She said, hey, Pedrito Cardenas, back in 2023, why is your cousin, uncle, receiving $7,000 for a video? Can't we find somebody cheaper? Well, Susan for the corrupt forgot about this post and doesn't want to talk about it now. We also talked about his residency. He doesn't live in District 2. He doesn't even live in District 4. He lives in Rancho Viejo. How do we know? Well, 4,500, according to the mailman, is a house in which, or apartment, studio, whatever, in which Pedrito Cardenas lives in Rancho Viejo. He doesn't even live in Brownsville, Texas, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because he owes thousands and thousands of dollars to Alejandro Nájera. And the Republican Party says that I do not have receipts. Ay, Diosito mi vida. You don't believe me? You don't believe nothing I say? It's okay with me. Pedrito knows that I'm right. I've done my job, Brownsville. And I will continue to do it to the best of my ability as long as you give me the opportunity. You want to fight corruption? You want to stand against corruption? You want to hold our elected leaders accountable? Let's join forces. Be part of the cause. It's not easy to fight. Nothing in life is easy. We're going up against a machine. A machine, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone is corrupt. Everywhere you look, everyone's on the take. This web is only going to get bigger. A lot bigger. People think I'm crazy. That's what they said about my predecessor. And look what ended up happening. You have until 7 p.m. to vote today. I've done my job, Bronzo. I stuck my neck out there. These people are threatening my life. My family's tripping out. But they say, pues, Franquito ya sabe. Es como un gallo. Si es gallo jugado, debe saber a qué le tira. But I'm after immortality. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to call these corrupt people out. I don't give a fuck. And people will remember me. I hope you appreciate me, Brownsville. This is Good Morning Brownsville, and my name is Frankie Olivo. Tune in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for more bangers. Peace! No music. Just let the mic drop, fam. No music on the intro. No music on the outro. Just let it breathe. Ciao.